structure and formation. Is that why City found it hard to break them down, do you think, Steve?
I think it was a little bit of both. I thought Chelsea, to be fair, did start quite well. They started on the front foot. It looked as though they weren't afraid to push forward. They had a corner, which is a flick on, simple flick on. It's a little bit too easy for them to get that flick on. Causes a little bit of confusion at the back. Then I think there's a great challenge by Gvardiol to deny a goal. I think that's on target, which it looked as though it was going to be. I think that could possibly put them 1-0 up.
For sure.
But after that, you're just seeing City just build into the game, just get a little bit more confident and trying to break them down. A few chances, Phil Foden with a chance. We were right behind the Haaland one. You think that's in all day long. He hits that so well. But Reijnders with a fantastic finish in the end. He hasn't got that much room to put it in, but he does. And I definitely think City deserved 1-0 winners. At half-time.
At half-time. And, of course, hopefully that'll stay the case full-time. If not, a few more goals for our predictions. Let's start with the goal then in Tijjani Reijnders. I mean, Steve kind of touched upon that. Can you talk us through it? Because it's also been those late runs that seem to have caused a real problem for Chelsea, especially when they were sitting so low, Paul.
And he's done it 3 or 4 times in this game, but previous games, we spoke about it in the show before the game, about how he times his runs so well. And players like Phil, and you've got Erling that even if he's not doing a lot, he occupies the centre-half, Steve, doesn't he? Yeah. Which leaves the space for him to go in. But even the balls came, they've tried to slide Erling in and it's sort of hit his heel, defenders got it, and once it's broke to Tijjani, he's still got a lot of work to do. And really, really quick feet, great touch and a fantastic finish as well. And really deserves, I think he's been outstanding. He's been a real threat for us with his runs into the box. What's
really exciting as well is I know a lot of people or fans, and maybe you guys around the world will know this, if you watch Serie A, I've spoke about just how imperious he was in the Serie A. Obviously got player of the season, and a lot of my friends who have seen him play said we've still not seen him at his full potential. These glimpses we're seeing though makes it exciting to think where that potential can take us, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, we were speaking about him before the game, and I can remember in pre-season he was scoring some goals and he was coming late with those runs early in the season, and he kind of just drifted off a little bit. But he looks as though he's back to it. And it's always difficult when they're making those runs because communication then between the midfield players and the defence has got to be absolutely spot on. And if it's not, and there's the slightest little breakdown, then you get a player that's as clever as he is that makes those runs, becomes available.
Yeah.
Instead if you go and track him.
What would you do as a centre-half? Because we've seen it numerous times in this game, but other games, and people still don't seem to. What would you do? Because you're that occupied with Erling.
With Erling.
Yeah, well, like I say, it's a difficult one because even if I've got Erling just inside me, I'm not wanting to leave him, but then I come to a situation where I'm thinking I've got to try and engage. Well, you guarantee I'll go there and the ball goes into Haaland.
Yeah. Because
then this other centre-half's got to come across, or the full-back's got to come across. So his runs makes such a big difference.
Yeah, really.
It's so difficult for defenders.
It's a knock-on effect as well, because if the midfielder does go with him, it's leaving Phil or Cherky free in the edge of the box.
Yes, yeah, we know they like to take a shot from there. We're going to just go pitch side for a moment. Let's hear from FG and Andy Morrison, who of course was on commentary with Ali. Actually, not FG, we can hear from them both. Here's Alistair Mann and Andy Morrison.
Yeah, thanks, Kel. Myself and Andy Morrison have been bringing you commentary on the City app, and an exciting first half it was too. Andy, what in particular have City done well, because they did seem to get on top as that half wore on?
Yeah, well, I mean, when we wore them down just by moving the ball, and then I just think the increase in pace, I thought it was a bit slow at times to start with, but then there 2 or 3 occasions where, especially Rodri, upped the pace of the ball in, which then defenders can't react to. They're recovering back, and then they can't set, and that allowed Haaland to come across and get a shot off, hit the post, and then from there on, we just begun to move it a little bit quicker, but it was very evenly balanced for long periods, Ali. They looked dangerous.
Well, what was it, you think, that started to tilt it City's way in that half?
Rodri.
Really?
Rodri. I don't know what else I can say. I'm watching it from here. His football brain is at a different level, and every decision he makes, he's already, the way he receives it side on, he receives it with the back foot, he knows when to go forward, he knows when to slow it down, up the pace. He's hitting diagonal balls that are taking full-backs out of play into certain areas, and it's just... Listen, he's a very, very special player, and I just think the tempo and what he creates is a difference there, and especially that last 20 minutes.
Was there anything there that gave you concern that Chelsea can find a way back into this?
They've got pace, but the the last 5 or 6 minutes, they looked disjointed. You know, and we said that, didn't we, before the game, that perhaps without a clear instruction from the sidelines, where it's a little bit of get out of jail card if they get beat. Nobody's really sure who's making the decisions. And for the last 5, 6, 7 minutes there, they looked all over the place. And every time we got it and when we moved the ball, we looked like we were going to hurt them. I think half-time's come at a really good time for them. They got pace. Neto, Pedro, I really like Pedro. The ball comes into him. I think Diaz has got to make more physical contact earlier, not allow the ball to come into him and then contact. He's got to bump him before the ball comes. Otherwise, he will cause you problems. And Neto has got pace to run in behind.
OK, the thoughts there of my co-commentator, the former City captain, Andy Morrison. But so far, so good. Back to you, Kel.
So far, so good indeed at the Etihad Stadium. If you've just tuned in, it's Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0 at half-time here at the Etihad Stadium. We're just above the pitch here in our little studio, and he's just made his way back down the tunnel there. But, Steve, it looked like Jeremy Doku warming up, maybe to come on straight away, maybe to come on a little bit into the second half. What are we thinking with that one there from Pep?
Well, we can just see him walking down the tunnel there now. I'll be surprised if he's not coming on straight away. Because otherwise, what's the point of warming up to go on the pitch? But then again, I'm not always right. Well, I'm very rarely right. But I just felt, you know, a couple of times in the first half probably didn't have that width that maybe, you know, the manager likes, because he does like to pull the teams really wide. So it'll be interesting to see what he does the second half. But as I said, I think he'd be coming on straight away. But
I can't see why he'd be warming up at half time if he wasn't. Steve said you usually sit and wait, didn't you? And come out for the second half and do your warm up then. Look, Chelsea's shape's been really good. And Jeremy does drag players out with him. You know, you're in for trouble if you're going to leave him one-on-one. So maybe when it's to drag one of the centre halves out to give Aaron a bit more space, or to drag one of the midfielders out to have a bit more space in the middle. You know, you don't know, but Pep's a genius, isn't he? So I'm sure he's doing it. Maybe there's an injury. You know, Ryan Cherky wasn't really moving the way he has been in the first half as well. Nico got a kick down the end, so there could be numerous factors behind it.
We were speaking about how resolute we've been in defence, and as you say, there was, I think, bar that brilliant, it was Gavardiol, you said, almost with the clearance to stop what looked like a guaranteed goal. Chelsea haven't really threatened much, and even on the break, I mean, Andy says that he wants Diaz to be a bit tight, but I feel he's been quite aggressive. Gavardiol, Nunes when he's needed to. We've kind of not really conceded many other chances there, which we should take into the second half, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, they threatened without threatening, apart from those two things that we spoke about. As I said, the ease, the one where you make it looks relatively easy with just the simple flick on at the front post. But other than that, they've had a little bit of possession, but goalkeeper hasn't had to make a save. So it just goes to show that they're nice and compact, nice and solid. But sometimes when Chelsea have come onto City, they've managed to springboard that the other way and just counter-attack on that side. But I think the manager and the players in there will be happy with how strong they are at the back. Now, basically, it's a case of can we get that second goal and try and really kill the game off. I
mean, Erling Haaland would love for him to be the man that scores the second goal. He's chasing his 150th goal for Manchester City. He rasped the post. I mean, you were right behind it, Paul. Really unlucky for that not to go in. And you know, now he's got the bit between his teeth, he'll probably be wanting that second goal.
And the one just beforehand, but it was deflected that the keeper's got a decent save on as well. But not just to finish, but his touch inside was fantastic. You know, the defender knows more often than not that he's going to go on his left foot, but he just shifted it when we moved it, and then, as I said, we thought it was going right in the top corner there. But
perfect angle.
I've no doubt he's going to get his 150th goal today.
Love that from Paul. Paul, you spoke about him at the start of the show. We've had people tuning in on YouTube. Thank you for watching. A lot of love just talking about seeing Rodri back on the pitch, and Paul spoke about how effective he's been, but actually just seeing him out there, we see how much it means to the fans. You can imagine what that means to the rest of the squad.
Again, he kind of runs the show.
Yeah,
he does. It just everything seems to go through him. He's really good at shutting people down and breaking up play, but he's also good at just getting the ball. He's always available, and he's one of these players as well that if I'm a player, if I'm a defender, and somebody's got a man right behind them, sometimes you're thinking, I mightn't trust him with the ball 100%. With him, you absolutely do. You know he's never going to give it away. Very, very rare have I seen him, lose that ball. Just his distribution has been excellent. I think Dickie spoke about it earlier on before the game. Just those pings from left to right, and he's been doing that a few times in the first half.
Without the ball, Kel, as well. I mean, we spoke about, going back to the start, about Josko being really further forward up right there. He's centre half today, and he's playing number 10 at some point. But he knows he can do that because Rodri's football, and he just drops back into the centre half area and fills in the role. And it's no coincidence we've seen Josko do that today and the other night there when Rodri's been in the pitch.
It's also felt as well, and I don't know if this is just the Rodri effect or because the team are in a good rhythm, but you see there after 30-35 minutes we hadn't really fashioned a chance. We had a lot of position, we weren't doing anything, but it just seemed we kept that calmness and composure. But that feels like it's dictated by Rodri just to say keep playing the way we're playing. That's a feeling valuable to some of the younger players as well, because I think we put out one of the third youngest average ages of a Premier League squad today, so that I guess is invaluable for them as well, Paul.
It is, and it's the players knowing that he does everything, doesn't he? He puts out fires when he's not got the ball, and he creates things with it for his teammates. But knowing, forgive me for repeating myself, but he makes players better on the pitch with and without the ball, because they know he's a leader out there, isn't he? Yeah. Without shouting the ball and everything else, how he conducts himself rubs off on the whole team. And
Bernardo Silva as well, special mention for him. Of course, he's been running absolutely everywhere and been very effective, particularly on the right hand side. We've mentioned Doku might be coming on. There's a couple Chelsea players to my left that are just warming up on their half of the pitch. Chelsea can also bring on players that can hurt us as well, so it's important, I guess, concentration, but maybe trying to get a bit of a cushion.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I think the manager Pep will be wanting the players to kind of get that second goal. I mean, 2-0 is never I mean, people sort of say it's a dangerous scoreline, but I'd rather be 2-0 up than 2-0 down.
Yes.
But of course, you know, the interim manager at Chelsea, we're just thinking, listen, lads, we've got nothing to lose here. We have to go for it. We have to put them under pressure. But again, I think if it starts the second half like it did the first half, you just soak up that little pressure, and then all of a sudden you're imposing yourself a little bit more on them. Like basically the end of the second half, it was pretty one-way traffic.
Yeah.
So they'll be hoping for much of the same in the second half.
And Chelsea are going to have to come out a little bit now.
Yeah.
They can't sit in like that all game. I'll be amazed if we don't see Liam Delap sooner rather than later. You know, because when they are defending, the ball's going up to João Pedro, as good a player as he is. He doesn't want to get in a physical battle with centre-halves and hold the ball up, where the one thing Liam will do, he'll back into Josko and Ruben and hold the ball up and allow the Chelsea players to go up the pitch a little bit.
Yeah, very good point. We just saw Doku did make his way out with his coat on, it's not coming on quite yet.
We know.
We know, absolutely.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Paul. Right, Alistair Mann, Andy Morrison, over to you for your commentary. We'll see you at full time. It's Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0.
Thank you, Kel. City out for the second half. Chelsea haven't emerged as yet. Doku was warming up during half-time, but there is no substitutions for either team, according to the information I've got at the moment. Having said that, the fourth official is getting some information now, so there might be a Chelsea change. We're just trying to find